Listen, it's your time. And I want you to go within, and I want you to take some notes on some things that I want to share with you. And here's one of the things I want you to realize and to come to grips with. I didn't do what I'm doing now for 14 years because I didn't realize that it was my time. Now you might be saying, well, how do you determine that? The fact that you're here to do the greater work. And what I did was I disqualified myself. I kept myself on the sideline. I was an onlooker as opposed to becoming actively engaged in this thing called life. This is your time. I want you to write this down. Seize the moment. Seize the moment. Remember when Michael Jackson put off years from doing a national and international tour? And then he said he's going to put on this last concert. And he said, this is it. Don't forget that. He said, this one that I'm going to do, this is it. I'm going to put all my stuff in it. Some of y'all remember this. He said, this is it. He didn't realize that life is so uncertain. He didn't realize it's so unpredictable. He did not realize that there are no guarantees. Here's a quote I want you to think about. If you put everything off until you're sure of it, you'll never get anything done. If you put everything off until you're sure of it, you'll never get anything done. And so I remember thinking about, well, I don't have a college education. Well, I can't compete with people with PhDs and MBAs. I don't have any paper behind my name. Listen, what you have and who you are is enough. Become actively engaged in this thing called life. Seize the moment. I constantly say, live like a warrior. And warriors are always in fight mode. And this is what you have to do. Because this thing called life, it's challenging. You got to fight for peace of mind. You got to fight to stay away from the refrigerator. You got to fight to stay away from toxic, negative, energy draining people. You've got to fight to stay focused. You've got to fight to put all your efforts and energy into things that's productive, that's positive, and purposeful. See, it doesn't take any motivation to procrastinate. It doesn't take any motivation to put things off or to think negatively, but it takes motivation to be optimistic in spite of, to have a perpetual vision of yourself and your life in a spirit of optimism, in spite of the circumstances and the adversities that's always knocking at the door or peeping through the window. If you put everything off till everything get right, oh, when I get all my ducks lined up, is that right? What if it's not duck season? When I get all my ducks lined up, when Peter stopped robbing, one of those things my mother used to say, robbing Peter to pay Paul. That's what Mama used to say. Robbing Peter to pay Paul. How did she come up with that one? Listen, if there's anything that we know now, just with the coronavirus alone, do what you're going to do and do it now with a sense of urgency. And here's something else that I want you to look at, and that things that I know. I'm 75, and so I know a thing or two. And I remind you of that because I'm finding so many of my classmates, the only time that I get calls from them is when someone dies. Now, guess what happens when somebody who's handling the roster for class reunions and activities of people that we graduated with? You know what happens when you get calls to that effect or get a text? You're thinking, am I next? Send me some information about the ones that are living. Send me some information about my classmates that are making a difference. Send me something about my classmates who graduated with me in 1963 from Booker T. Washington High School in Miami, Florida, that's living their dream and taking their lives to the next level, that's creating generational wealth, that's happy and successful, and what good things they're doing in the world, the greater work, so I can emulate that, so I can be encouraged by that. Don't tell me about people that's dying. I find out sooner or later. I'm not being insensitive. I really don't mind that. But I'm saying let's balance it out. Balance it out, because all of us going to go. Nobody's figured out how to get out of life alive. Nobody. All of us going to check out of here. People dying today who never died before. You know what? Oh, behave, Tyrone. You know what? So here's something that Shakespeare said: defer no time. Delays have dangerous ends. Defer no time. Delays have dangerous ends. You think about that, because I didn't think I can be who I'm now being. I didn't think the life that I've been living, that it was available to me. Here's what I know. If you focus on living, if you focus on being actively engaged in life, every day finding some way in which you can make a greater impact, where you can do more, that you can achieve more, the possibilities are unlimited as to what can open up for you. And so I was hungry. How did you get started? I was hungry. I was hungry to buy a home for my mother. I was hungry to do something that would give my life a sense of value. I was hungry to be my own boss. I realized that the reason at first I used to get angry when they used to fire me, saying I had too much mouth, and that I was just too upbeat. And so they want to check me. They want to put me in my place. Well, I'm not that kind of guy that you could just disrespect me. No. This is the place, not a problem. I was looking for a job when I found this one. No problem. And so, but I noticed that the things that happen, what appears to be happening to you, they're really things that's happening for you. Because had I not been made uncomfortable working for someone, you would not know this Les Brown that you now see. See, sometimes life has to step in and say, you know what? He's a slow learner. Let's step in here. When you don't have enough courage to do what it is that you've been sent here to do, to live the life that you've been chosen out of 400 million sperm to live, when you don't have enough courage to do that, life moves on you. You were chosen to do the greater work. That's why you're still breathing. That's why you're not taking a dirt nap. That's why you are here, to be a blessing. We were created by the Creator to create. What do you mean by hungry? People that are hungry, they're positive about what they want. People that are hungry, they're persistent. They keep coming back again and again and again. They know that you will fail your way to success. People that are hungry are willing to persevere when it appears that all the odds are stacked against them. They keep coming on. When everybody has counted them out, they as long as they got a pulse, they keep coming back. They keep holding on. They don't give up. They might bend, but they won't break. Are you hungry? Is there something in your life, as you think about your life right now? And I did this self-explanatory style of saying to me, Les Brown, come on, you can do this. You can do this. Sometimes you have to talk to yourself. But the other thing is, I asked myself, if I died now, what would I be upset about? Some dream that I had that I put off, that I didn't get done. And at that point, I thought about, I love to travel. There are places I wanted to go, things I wanted to see, experiences I wanted to have. And I saw a guy who was speaking, and I said, hey, I can do that. The room was as quiet as a graveyard between funerals. He didn't get any response from the audience at all. I feel so sorry for him. But I said, hey, Dad, this guy is boring. Fortunately, I was seated next to his brother-in-law. Coincidence is God's way of staying anonymous. I said, this guy is boring. And he said, the brother-in-law, you ought to be that boring and make the kind of money he made. I said, well, how much money he made? He said, $5,000 an hour. I said, oh, I can do that. Now, mind you, before then, I talked myself out of it. Gary Cox said this. When there's an argument between your mind and your heart, follow your heart. Where your heart is, there your treasure is also. Follow your heart. Most of us have a mind-driven life, you know, and what do you mean by that? There's eyesight and there's mind sight. See, the mind, that's where your imagination resides. See, when you have eyesight, you just judge according to appearances, but mind sight, you look beyond the appearances and you create a vision in your mind of things already accomplished, because all dreams happen twice. First in the mind and then in the without. Okay? So I want you to, especially now, with this coronavirus thing, especially now, with all the other stuff and drama that's going on every day in the world, nationally, globally, and locally, especially now, but you might be breathing the wrong air seated next to someone, or walking and somebody walked past you and you don't know what's going on with them. I got on an elevator at Emory University and they only allow 4 people on the elevator. And this guy had his mask on, I had mine on, and then nobody there but he and I. And then he took his mask off to sneeze. Let me tell you something up in here. I was about to lose my mind with him. I'm about to say, I was looking at him, you about to make me lose my mind. Up in here. I know if he could have jumped out of the elevator, he'd have left there soon. The look I gave him, if you don't put that mask back on, I gave him that Mamie Brown look. You know, my mama used to say, you know what? Y'all better not make me come back there. No, ma'am, mama, please don't come back. We would bring out the King Kong. One of the things I'm doing, this is the beginning of the year, and I want you to listen to me closely. You can't make it by yourself today. There's so many things that's happening, so many things that's changing. And as you look at where things are right now, let me say something that the news won't tell you. All right, listen to me. God's in, he's in all of this. God is in this mix up in here. Do you hear me? He's all over this stuff. They ain't talking about that. They should have breaking news. God is interrupted all this mess that's going on up in here. Breaking news. He's still on the throne. Breaking news. All things work together for good for those who love God and for those who are called according to his purpose. That's the breaking news. There will be no commercial breaks. Just this information. All things. Did you say something? No. All things. Come on. Now, are you really all things? All things work together for those who love God and for those who are called according to his purpose. That's some good news up in here. They don't know. If it leads, if it bleeds, it leads. See, if somebody's got to die, got to be an accident, something ugly got to happen to make the news. But the real good news is that all things work together for good for those who love God according to his purpose. Well, what about my adverse circumstances right now? Trust me, it's going to work out. Well, what about the fact that I'm about to be foreclosed? Trust me, it's going to work out. What about the fact I'm facing eviction? What about the fact that I've lost my job? Trust me, trust him. It's going to work out. This is not the end. It's just the beginning of a new chapter in your life. It's a new chapter. And as you believe As you keep the faith. Keep the faith, baby. Adam Clayton Powell knew what he's talking about. Keep the faith. Oh, we've gone through some stuff before. Keep the faith, baby. Oh, no, see, in this place where we are, it's easy to have faith when you got money, you got your health, and things are working out fine for you. Oh, it's so fine. You can easily say, oh, just think positive and be enthusiastic and everything will work out all right. No. You're going to get some whippings in this thing called life. You have to keep the faith. Because this stuff is cyclic. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. Sometimes things go well, sometimes they don't go so well. And no guts, no glory. It takes guts to continue to believe, to trust, to stand strong, to stand up inside yourself. It takes guts to do that, to come back again and again and again. It takes guts to look at things that you put all your effort and all your money and all your energy into, and then you have life interrupt you and you lose everything except your life. People say, I lost everything. I want to just tap on the television and say, no, you didn't lose everything. No. You have life. You're still here. You're still breathing. You still got a pulse. And who you are behind your eyes is still here. And that force, that energy, that presence behind your eyes can produce what it is that you've lost. 8 out of 10 millionaires have been bankrupt. You're not a loser. Things just did not happen the way you wanted them to happen. You're a winner. You were born to win. You came here winning. So whatever you want to do it now. And if you're going through some stuff right now, keep it moving, baby. Keep it moving. No. I'm depressed right now. No, you don't have the luxury of being depressed. Keep it moving. Use your mind to be creative and look for a way to get out of the situation where you are. You will work your way back to where you were and beyond there. Therefore, take unto you the whole armor. Yes. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. You've been given authority and dominion over everything on the face of the earth. Those are not just words that were printed on a page. Those are words that to become actualized in your life. And I'm putting together groups, mastermind groups of greatness. People, see, in order to make it, the 3 things that's major right now. Number 1, working on your mind. So when you go to hungrytospeak.com, you're going to get some things that you listen to called Choosing Your Future, that as you listen to this message over and over and over again, it's going to change your life overnight. There are people listening to me right now. I want you to put on the screen what difference those messages have made in your life. Put them up there so people can see them. Put them up there right now. Do it right now. If you've heard Choosing Your Future, it's possible. It's necessary. It's you. It's hard. It's worth it. It's done. Stick a fork in it. It's done. Yes, stick a fork in it. There's some people can tell you that will tell you. Do you see anything yet, Mike? John Leslie? Yeah. They're putting it up there? Yeah. Let me tell you something. It will make you get your hustle on. Let me tell you something. Don't listen to it at night. You won't be able to go to sleep. You'll be so motivated to be talking in your sleep. Listen, and if
Kent said Les is on fire.
Thank you. Who said that?
Kent.
Hey, Kent. Hey, brother Kent. Hiya. All right, Kent. Oh man, listen to me. Because you survived. Do you know who you are? Do you know who you are? You made it out of 2020. Whoa! Don't miss that. Don't miss that. A lot of folk didn't make it. A lot of people didn't make it. Don't take it for granted that you're supposed to make it. To just have a spirit of humility and say, thank you, Lord. A lot of people are partying. I wasn't partying. I said, thank you, Lord. I'm still here. Cancer Centers of America amazed at me. He's dealing with 4-stage cancer, but he's still here. He's been here for 29 years with this, and he hear about with some pain that's in his shoulders and his back, but he's still here. He's 75. Don't look it, but he's still here. He says he used mascara to cover his gray, but he's still here. Ooh, in fact, I see some gray kind of rebelling right now. I need to hook them up. What is this? I don't know what's happening up here. What y'all doing there? Homie, don't play that. What y'all doing? You did I tell y'all get the, excuse me, about to make me lose my religion. If people don't leave home without the American Express, I don't leave home without my mascara. Oh, behave. Oh, whatever. You make me Randy, baby. Why are you so happy? Because I'm here. Are you crazy? The stuff I deal with, stuff I'm dealing with right now. I'm still here when I get through. But when I speak, I don't hurt. But when I get through speaking, like I'm talking to y'all, the pain is in my rooms. Are you through? Well, I don't know. I think I got a little bit more to say. You know, as long as you're speaking, you got a job. We ain't gonna mess with you, but well, when you get through, we're gonna light you up. Let me tell you what happened. This is a true story. I was the program director at WBKO radio station, right? So this news director I hired, I'm not gonna tell you his name. He went to sleep in the newsroom. So I'm sitting up there waiting for him to come in at 10 o'clock to do the news. This time they used to rip and tear and read the news off the Associated Press. I'm sitting waiting, got an instrumental playing, and he was in the room asleep. So people came and said, he's in the room asleep, he's not coming now. I put on a long record, and I had everybody come watch, and I put a note in his hand while he was asleep, and the note read, as long as you sleep, you got a job. When you wake up, you are fired. So everybody was watching through the window to see what he's going to do when he woke up. He woke up. Do you know he slept another hour and a half? We got tired of watching him. He slept another hour and a half. I guess he looked to see we were out there. You never heard that one, huh, John Leslie? That's a true story. That's a true story. I said, as long as you sleep, you got a job. Don't wake up. Okay. Well, listen, what does it take to make it now, Les? Mental resolve, all right? Next thing is, you have to upgrade your skill set. And we teach you how to do that, how to make money in a variety of ways. The other thing is, I cannot emphasize this enough, getting around the right people. That's why I'm putting this greatness mastermind together. Being around the right people. Sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know and what they know about you, and being able to have the ability to communicate with people behind doors that you want to get into, and have relationships with people that's on the path of where you are going. Being around the right people, that's major. Do you hear me? That's major. Don't downplay that. Don't try and do this stuff solo by yourself, because it's too many people that's working against you and don't want to see you make it. If there's nothing else we know, 1 out of every 2 people you know that you see every day, they got it out for you. And me too. Why? It's just that way. That's what it is. But we will find a way to win together. All things work together for good. For those, not just one person, for those where 2 or 3 are gathered. Ooh, I will be among you. Whoa, we're not by ourselves? No. Absolutely not. Oh, no. That's some good news. You have something special. You have greatness in you.
Yes, it's possible that you can choose your future and direct the course of your life as you run toward your dream. It's necessary that you have goals, that you write those goals down, that you plan, that you think constantly of how you can begin to improve what it is that you're doing. If it's your presentations, if it's your recruiting skills, whatever that is, it's also necessary that you look for ways to always find a way to pull it out when everybody else thinks that you are defeated. That you've got to take personal responsibility to know that in order to become successful, you've got to make it your personal business to do it. But the next thing, ladies and gentlemen, I want to share with you that some of you already know that it's hard. It's not easy. It's hard changing your life. It was hard when just over 3 years ago in the Penobscot building in Detroit, Michigan, where I was operating my business, and I fell on some hard times, and I was sleeping in my office. It was hard coming into the lobby, and the security said, "Excuse me, Mr. Brown, can we see you for a moment?" And I said, "Yes." And I walked up to the counter, and he gave me an envelope. And he said, "Would you mind reading it here?" And I opened the envelope, and the envelope was from management that said, "This is an office tower. It's not a hotel. Please do not sleep in your office." And I said, "Excuse me, sir." I said, "I just work long hours in creating my business. I'm an entrepreneur. And right now things are bad for me. But they're not going to be this way always. And I just asked for the opportunity to continue to operate like I'm doing. I'm not trying to make this my home." And it was hard coming through the lobby. And sometimes they would laugh. There's a guy talking about becoming successful. And look at him. He's bathing in the bathroom upstairs on the 21st floor. He sleeps on the floor. Him and 2 other dreamers up there. Look at him. It was hard, ladies and gentlemen, coming to speak to people. And I was facing financial difficulties in my own life. I was behind on my bills and my dreams, and I'm saying to them, you can live your dream. It was hard, ladies and gentlemen. It was very difficult to pick myself up each day believing that I could do it. There were times that I doubted myself. I said, "God, why is this happening to me? I'm just trying to take care of my children and my mother. I'm not trying to steal or rob from anybody. Why did this have to happen to me?" It was very hard. And here's what I want to say to you. For those of you that have experienced some hardships, don't give up on your dream. No one could have convinced me by holding on, by continuing to push forward, by continuing to run toward my dream, that one day I would have my own talk show. It's a long shot, ladies and gentlemen, from Liberty City, an abandoned building on a floor, never knowing my mother or father. It's a long shot. Being here with you today in this dome in Atlanta, it's a long shot. No college training, labeled educable, mentally retarded, but I kept running toward my dream. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop running toward your dream. It's very important as you hold on to that dream. There are moments when you're going to doubt yourself. There are rough times that are going to come, but they have not come to stay. They have come to pass. It's very important for you to know that. Don't say I'm having a bad day. Say I'm having a character building day. It's very important for you to believe that you are the one to make this happen. I remember this high school teacher, Mr. Leroy Washington, at the end of school one June, it was just a few days before we were supposed to leave, and I just got my report card, and it indicated that I'd failed history, and I'd fail English, and I would have to go to summer school. And I was feeling within myself that I was a failure, that I'm slower than most people in getting paperwork, and I was feeling down on myself and very negative. And Mr. Washington was giving a speech to the graduating seniors, and I was in 11th grade. And even though I wasn't supposed to be in there, I went in there because the speech he was giving, that speech was for me. And as he talked, my heart began to beat fast. Tears began to run down my eyes, and I was in the back just listening to him, because he said, and he was a very dramatic man. I still talk to him to this day. He said, as graduating seniors of Booker T. Washington High School, I want you to know that you're blessed and highly favored, and that as you go toward the future, begin to know that you have greatness within you. And if just one of you here begin to envision yourselves as being blessed and highly favored to reach your goals, if just one of you capture the essence of what that means, that you have greatness within you and a responsibility to manifest that greatness, that you can make your parents proud, you can make your school proud, you can touch millions of people's lives, and the world will never be the same again because you came this way. And the students gave him a rousing standing ovation. And as he left the auditorium, I ran down the steps and I caught him in the parking lot. I said, Mr. Washington? He said, yes. I said, do you remember me, sir? He said, no. I said, my name is Leslie Brown. My mother, she works in the cafeteria here. I'm one of the twins, Leslie and Wesley. I said, Mr. Washington, but you know, I got these big dreams. You know, I like talking to people. I love people. I said, I want to work with people, and I got this dream of buying my mama a home. Could I do that, Mr. Washington? He said, it's possible, Mr. Brown. And as he walked away, I called him again. I said, Mr. Washington? He said, what do you want now? I said, I'm the one, sir. I said, I'm the one. You remember me, sir. I'm Miss Mamie Brown's boy. I'm the one. I'm the one. And you must feel that that's why you're here, because you are the one. And I remember when PBS first played one of my specials called You Deserve, one Sunday afternoon in Miami, Florida. I had some friends call him to tell him to tune in. And he watched the program. He called me in Detroit, and I answered the phone. I said, hello. He said, may I speak to Les Brown, please? I said, who's calling? He said, you know who this is. I said, oh, Mr. Washington, it's you. He said, you were the one, weren't you? I said, yes, sir. He said, and you were so crazy. I said, I know, but I'm rich now. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not going to be easy. It was hard laying on the floor of the Penobscot building, looking out of the window, daydreaming, saying, Les, can you do this? Can you make this happen? I used to listen to tapes day in and day out about See You at the Top, my great friend Zig and Dennis Waitley and different other motivational speakers, and Dr. Norman Vincent Peale and Dexter saying, don't let nobody steal your dream. I used to ask myself, can I do this? And something said within me, you're the one. You're the one. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. While you're here, and before you go back home to your respective cities and communities, write down at least 5 reasons on why you deserve your dream, on why you won't give up, what's going to make you unstoppable, why you must be unreasonable, because logical, practical thinking says you can't do it today. But if you want to produce unreasonable results in your life, like living your dream and taking charge of your destiny, you've got to be an unreasonable person. You've got to be an uncommon person. So write down the reasons of why you're here. My first major goal was to buy my mother a home. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. What will reasons do, Les? Nietzsche said, if you know the why for doing, you can endure almost anyhow. What do you mean by that? If you know why you're doing something, when the hard times come, and they're going to come, when the disappointments and the rejections come, and they're going to come by the truckloads, your reasons will be your rod and staff to comfort you, to pick you up. Once again, I got a saying on one of my tapes: if life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. Let your reasons get you back up. I remember when I bought the home for my mother, and she came out of the car. When I opened the door, I said, Mom, I think I know these people in this house. That was my first major goal. And then I couldn't conceal it anymore. I said, Mom, I got this for you. And as she went from room to room, looking at the house and saying, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. No one ever could have convinced me that this could have happened to me. And she looked at me and she said, Leslie, and you caused me so much problems as a boy. You were always into stuff. She said, no one could have convinced me that day when I walked in that house and this lady was holding you and your brother. And she said, ma'am, I want you to promise me two things. And she said, what is it? She says, one, promise me that you won't separate them. She said, I want them raised together. I want them to know each other. I got pregnant while my husband was away in the war, and I can't keep them. Promise me that you won't separate them. She said, I promise I won't. I've never had children. I promise I won't separate them. And she said, promise me that you'll never tell them about who I am, because if my husband ever found out, he would kill me. She said, I promise. And she said that she gave them to us, and she kind of cried, and she was walking out the door, and she looked at my adopted mother. She said, remember, don't you separate them. She said, I swear to God, I won't separate them. I'll keep them together. And she said, as I held y'all in my arms, I never had any children of my own. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I knew with the help of God, I would do it. And ladies and gentlemen, my mother had a dream of having children and raising us. She didn't know how she was going to do it. You're going to be just like that. And some of you are already there. Well, you don't know how you're going to make this happen, but you just feel within yourself some way, somehow, with the help of God, I'm going to make it happen. Repeat after me, please. No matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. Shake somebody's hand on your right and left and say, you got the right stuff. So yes, it's possible for you to live your dream. It's necessary that you associate with winners, that you work your system, that you are relentless, that you never give up. It's you. You've got to take personal responsibility. You've got to make it your personal business to make it happen. And you've got to resolve within yourself that I can do this, that it's hard, but you've got to say, I'm the one. I'm the one to make this happen. I'm the one to become successful in this business. As you work to help other people to become successful, that feeds your success. But you know it's going to be hard, but find out what will make it worth it for you. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to make your dream become reality, the people that are running at their dreams know that it's possible that you can live your dream, that it's necessary that you're relentless, that you have a plan of action, that you are creative. The people that are living their dream are finding winners to attach themselves to. The people that are living their dreams are the people that know that if it's going to happen, it's up to them. And they're resolving within themselves, it's not over until I win. The people that are running after their dream know they're going to have hard times. They keep on running because they're saying within themselves, I'm the one. No matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it. The people that are running after their dreams are the people that are hungry. Shake somebody's hand on your right and left and say, you got to be hungry. And as you run towards your dream, I want to dedicate this to you that I love very much. I want to thank Dexter and all of you. It's something that I'm known by. It's on our tapes called Choosing Your Future, and it says simply this, that if you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for it, if all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it, and if you gladly sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it and lose all your terror of the opposition for it, and if you simply go after that thing that you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope and confidence, and stern pertinacity, if neither cold poverty, famish or gulf, sickness or pain or body and brain can keep you away from the thing that you want, if dogged and grim you besiege and beset it, with the help of God you'll get it.
I like to ask whether or not you have goals, but I want to ask you another question. How many of you know that if you had your life to live over again, you could do more than what you've done thus far? Raise your hands, please. Now, that proves a point, that what we do and what we accomplish in life is only a tip of the iceberg of what's possible for us. So I want you to think about some goals that you'd like to achieve, and I'd like for you to, let's say, break them up in 3 categories. Number 1, I want you to think about some personal goal you'd like to achieve. And I'd like for you to think about some career goal, some business goal that you'd like to achieve. And I want you to think about some social contribution, some impact you'd like to make with your life. It was Horace Mann who said, we should be ashamed to die until we've made some major contribution to humankind. I believe we live in the greatest country in the world that gives us an opportunity to leave our mark, to make a statement with our lives. And as you think about these goals, whatever those goals are, I want you to dramatically increase those goals. And I want to warn you, I don't want you to think about how you're going to do it. How is none of your business. The most important thing is just to increase those goals dramatically. I've found that most people fail in life, not because they aim too high and miss. Most people fail in life because they aim too low and hit. And many don't aim at all. So raise the bar on yourself and don't ask how you're going to do it. I'll never forget when I decided that I wanted to become a motivational speaker. I saw the late Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, and my heart said, I can do that. But my mind asked the question, how? And for over 14 years, I would go see Zig Ziglar and Dr. Norman Vincent Peale and Jim Rohn and different speakers, and I would be in the audience, and my heart would pounce and say, you can do that, Les. And then when I would leave, I would be going to the parking lot, and my mind said, how are you going to do it? And I spent so many years trying to figure out how. I wasted 14 years. How many of you ever procrastinated? Raise your hands, please. Yeah, see, so as you begin to think about your goals, the most important thing is, and write this down, commit yourself. See, once you commit yourself, the how will come, the way will come. Once you commit yourself, you will then figure it out. And if you're going in the wrong direction, all you have to do is turn around and go in the other direction. You will figure it out. You want to begin to just challenge yourself. You want to stretch yourself because you really don't know what you can't do. I'll never forget the first day that I met Mr. Washington. I was born in a poor section of Miami, Florida called Liberty City. I was born in an abandoned building on a floor with a twin brother. And when we were 6 weeks of age, we were adopted. And when I was in the 5th grade, I was identified as EMR, labeled educable, mentally retarded, put back from the 5th grade into the 4th grade. And I failed again when I was in the 8th grade. I don't have any college education, but because of my mother, and I feel like Abraham Lincoln, who said, all that I am and all that I ever hope to be I owe to my mother. I saw a sign once that said that God took me from my biological mother's womb and placed me in the heart of my adopted mother. So my first major goal was to buy my mother a home, to take care of my mother. And I did that, took care of her until she passed at 88. But I'll never forget when I met Mr. Washington. I was in a class waiting on another student, and he came in and he said, "Young man, go to the board and work this problem out for us." I said, "Oh, sir, I can't do that." He said, "Why?" I said, "I'm not one of your students." He said, "Look at me." I said, "Yes, sir. Go to the board and work the problem out anyhow." I said, "Sir, I can't do what you're asking me to do." He said, "Why?" "Sir, because I'm educable mentally retarded, sir." And as the students erupted in laughter, he came from behind his desk, he looked at me and he said, "Don't you ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality." And that was a turning point in my life. On one hand, I was humiliated. But on the other hand, I was liberated. Because he looked at me with the eyes of Goethe, who said, "Look at a man the way that he is. He only becomes worse. But look at him as if he were what he could be. Then he becomes what he should be." And so Mr. Washington, he challenged me. And I want to challenge you right now about raising your goals. And I want you to shake someone's hand on your right and left, look them in the eyes and say, "Stretch yourself." Yeah, see, I think that you really have to stretch yourself to discover your stuff. I think that we have to really begin to experiment with life. And I said that you have something special. I didn't say that just to be kind and courteous. You do. See, I think that there are not many people that come to seminars or workshops or will watch a program of this nature. Why? I just think that most people are just satisfied to where they are. I'm reminded of a man one day. He was walking down the street and he passed his porch where some people were on the porch talking. There was a dog moaning and groaning. And he was curious why the dog was moaning and groaning. And he went back and he said, "Excuse me," he asked the owner, "why is the dog moaning and groaning?" The guy said, "Because he's laying on a nail." He said, "Well, why won't he get off?" He said, "It's not hurting bad enough for him to get off. Just hurting bad enough to moan and groan." How many of you know people who should be here? Raise your hands, please. How many of you know people, all they do is moan and groan? Moan and groan. I'm not making enough money. Moan and groan. I'm unhappy with my job. 87% of people go to jobs that they hate. And in addition to that, you know, as we know that we have the dubious distinction in this country that on Monday morning, the heart attack rate increases over 35%. On Monday morning between 6 o'clock and 9, people going to jobs that they hate. The heart said, "Didn't I tell you I didn't want to go?" and attack them. Some of you don't want to go to work next Monday. So the thing is this. So you want to find out what resonates with you. What is it you really want to do? You want to experiment with life and find out what fits for you. You have something special. You have greatness within you. You have the ability to do more than you can ever begin to imagine.
Thank you.
Bye.